How are you, YouTube? I feel like I haven't been on in forever, even though that's not the case. That is not the case at all. I just feel that way because I haven't done a live, I think, in 24 hours. So, back again. Haven't missed a beat, hopefully. I have been working on something, so I do want to talk about this. So I have started a new playlist because I realized that there is very important information that is embedded in videos that are an hour to 2 hours long. And so if somebody doesn't have a lot of time, it's going to be time consuming to go through those videos. So what I've gone ahead and done is made all of these short form videos that are going to play, that are basically just going to be about the very important things that you need to know as far as ascension goes. These are things that I learned during my spiritual ascension that just made it easier to tolerate, easier to ascend. So I have my botanical cards that I always read. My botanical cards that give me they give me a direction for where we're going with the message for the evening. Now, sometimes by the time I get to the message, it's been compounded. Like tonight, where it's like, it's been 24 hours, so it's like compounded now. This message, the flower is a daffodil. I don't know if that matters or not, but the message is rebirth and new beginnings. How appropriate is that? New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings, and that's a quote by Lao Tzu. Lao spelled L-A-O, Tzu spelled T-Z-U, Lao Tzu. Rebirth and new beginnings, and I think that's very appropriate for what I want to talk about today. And I want to tell you guys, honestly, more times than not, I'm not even talking about what I want to talk about. I'm talking about what I am moved to talk about. So these are things that if I had to talk about, I feel like the things that I kind of think of to talk about are going to be in the short form videos that play every day. But as far as what I am moved to talk about for these lives, it's whatever I am moved to talk about. Believe me, it's stuff that I personally could not have come up with on my own. So there is that. Hold on, I gotta turn off my speakers. My speakers went all the way low. They're probably dying. It's probably dying right now. In the meantime, in between time, I hope everybody is really doing okay. I hope everybody is doing the best that they can. These are not easy circumstances that you're in. This is definitely a grueling process, but I want to give a little bit of context to what is happening to you during this process. I've already described gang stalking as a spiritual ascension, and I stick by that. We have 6 people in the chat, guys. If you would go ahead and like the chat, it would really help the engagement on the chat. It would help the channel. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna start the message that I have on my heart to talk about. When we talk about spiritual ascension, people think about getting like some type of spiritual gift. So maybe you might get a gift of being psychic. Maybe you might get a gift of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, whatever clairs, blah, 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 right? I want to talk about the real superpowers, common sense and intuition, which people seem to overlook. People will try to block your third eye or block if you're getting downloads or anything like that, because people do not put enough value on common sense, intuition, and I'm going to add one more, willpower. Witches, because that's who we're dealing with here. We're dealing with witches. People who put a lot of value on spell work, on lighting candles, on coming after people. They don't give enough credibility to people's intuition, to people using common sense, and to people having willpower. So I want to really kind of highlight that right now for you. Don't worry too much about if a spirit's gonna come in your head and tell you something, or if you're gonna get a download, or if you're gonna listen, use your common sense. When people describe these people as not so smart, is because these people lean too heavily on spell work. They lean too heavily on manipulative tactics and like over strategizing and like doing too much. And people who do stuff like that, they seem to forget that people that they deal with have an intuition. People have a sixth sense that says, that doesn't make any sense. I don't care what you tell me. I don't care what domination spell you put me under. I know I don't like you. I know you're a liar. I know it makes no sense. Like, there might be a domination spell, there might be a love spell, but step back. Who are you? Where did you come from? Why do you insist on being here no matter how many times I've blocked you and I've rejected you? What love spell can override? What spell work can override your common sense? You're out there in the streets and people are following you all over, and it's very obvious that it's happening. And if you stay in long enough, it'll be pretty obvious as to why it's happening. So you don't need all these extra spiritual gifts and all these extra talents, and you don't need spell work to get through this at all. Like, literally, you do not need to do what these people do. You need to use your common sense. You need to make sure that 1 + 1 = 2. That's it. 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2, no matter what dimension you're in, no matter what frame of mind you're in, whether you subscribe to Buddha or Jesus or whatever. You just got to know what makes sense. So that's 1. 2, when it comes to willpower, if people are trying to push you out of your own life and you determine that you're not going to leave your life, you're not going to be pushed out, you're not going to cower, you're not going to go away, you're not going to stop, then now it becomes a battle of the wills. And so because it's your life, you can pretty much say that your will is going to be stronger, because it's literally your life. It's literally your life that you're fighting for. I don't know in what world people just lay down and give up their life, if that's what people are expecting, but that does not happen. That should not happen. You should never just sit there and let people just push you out of your own existence. So that's number 2. So when it comes down to being gang stalked, there are 3 advantages that you have, which are your intuition, which you're supposed to listen to and heighten. You're supposed to be very quiet when people talk, and you're supposed to really listen to the things that they're saying. There's your common sense, which tallies up if what they're saying makes sense or not, which leads you to make decisions that make sense, like, when is it time to make a police report? When is it time to not make a police report? When is it time to lay back and observe? When is it time to be a whistleblower, be loud, talk about it? And then there's your willpower that says to you, if you stop, you'll lose your life. You got to keep going. And let me tell you something about life. Anything that you keep going with will succeed, period. It's not if, it's not and, it's not but. It's the law of averages. As long as you keep going, you will eventually find success, because you would have pretty much covered every piece of ground that there is to cover. And then you get to a point where you fully understand the lay of the land. No matter what it is, if it's a business, if it's a job, whatever it is, that's why you meet people who know how things work. And they say, I've been here for 20 years, I've been here for 40 years. There's nothing that they haven't seen. So when it comes to your life in gang stalking, you got to get to the point where you're like, listen, I've been gang stalked so long, there's nothing that I haven't seen. I've seen it all. Oh, they're doing that? We already did that. I did that 3 years ago. Oh, they're doing that to you? Oh, I already saw that. You got to be the guru of gang stalking. I mean, if this is your last resort, because no one's coming to help you and no one's coming to save you and the police aren't doing anything, what, are you gonna lose your mind over these people so these people could get paid? Let me explain something to you, and I need this really understood. Gang stalking is a company. There is a company of gang stalkers, a small number of people. And they use your social network. They triangulate your social network and they use your network against you. They don't even have to hire people. They never have to wonder where their staff is coming from. They seep into your social network and they cause mayhem and madness. If you do not fall, if you do not come off of your square, they cannot charge the same money that they did for your case for the next case. Because if you don't come off your square, then it means that somebody paying them the money they used to charge is hit or miss. And if you really do not come off your square and you survive a bit too long, I mean, if you conquer it, they're out of business. They can't charge anything at all. It's a liability now. Like in my case, because I'm making noise. I'm not just making noise. I know who owns the business, the couple that own the business, okay? I know who they are. I know the police officers that are in hand. I know professionals that are involved. I know the companies. And they would be hard pressed to prove me mentally ill. So they can't charge anything moving forward. I know how this thing works. I know how this thing works so much that I see other people as they're starting their gang stalking journey. I can see how it starts, and I could tell that they're going down the road of being gang stalked. That's how clearly I see this. You are here in this journey not to be knocked off your square, not to be knocked out of your life. I talk about it all the time as a rite of passage. I talk about it as an ascension, a spiritual ascension, a death and rebirth process. And I talk about it as a situation that is not just to be endured, not even to be survived, but for you to bloom out of, for you to blossom out of, for you to come out of a new person. And it's a double mission, because not only are you supposed to ascend and blossom, but you're supposed to take them down. That's part of the gig. You're supposed to take them down. That's part of it. So let's get into it. By the way, anybody here please like the chat, share the chat, subscribe. It helps us grow. I am here to give you perspective as to what you're going through, and I'm here to give you the proper mindset with which to go through it. I'm gonna leave this part to the second part. Let's talk about being a targeted individual. Being targeted, being gang stalked, it comes before the rise. What do I mean by that? Gang stalking is a rite of passage. I don't know if anybody's ever watched any of those movies where, I don't know what movie it is, but there's a particular movie where whenever you turn 18 years old, or whenever one of the children turn 18 years old, they have to go to the forest for like a month or a couple of days or whatever it is, and they have to go face their ascension. And in their ascension, it's very tough. And they meet their spirit animal, and they come out of the forest and they have a new name. So whatever name they had up until they turned 18, they come out, they have a new name, but they're different. And in the forest is where they become a man or a woman. That is where they change. Give me a second. So in the forest is where they become a man or a woman. This is where they level up. This is where they ascend. Gang stalking is exactly that. For people who have a particular skill set, people who can perhaps survive it, it's like you get to go through gang stalking. And if you can survive gang stalking, you come out on the other side spiritually a man or a woman, or an ascended master, or on your way to being one anyway. Because what it takes to get through gang stalking, it means that you're already blessed, you're already gifted, you have to find God to get out of this. You have to make the appropriate connections. Nobody is coming to help you. You have to connect to God. And so as you go through, I describe it as Hunger Games, and all of heaven and all of the underworld are watching. They're watching you get through, and you have to connect. You have to connect. You have to make the appropriate connections, whether that be ancestors, whether that be whoever you want to call God, whoever you connect with. Nobody's coming to help. Police are not coming to help. Friends are not coming to help. Social network is not coming to help. You got to stay on your feet, and you got to keep going. You got to get strong, and whoever comes out is of service to God, because whoever comes out is worthy of the blessings that they're going to get. So gang stalking and targeting comes before your rise. It is a right, it's a rite of passage, and you got to keep that in your mind every day. You cannot fear meeting the people. Okay, so first of all, let me back it up. You have to understand that if you do gang stalking correctly, the karma that you are waiting for other people to get, you are that karma yourself. You are the karma. That's why no one's coming to help. You are the karma. You get to call judgment on these people if you step into your power. These people can only bully you if you don't know who you are. If you don't know the power that you have. If you don't know that you're stronger than all of them combined on their strongest day. These people do not have authority over you. These people are not connected, and they're definitely not connected in the way that you are. If you're even called to be gang stalked, if you're even put in this arena, it's because You first of all have ancestors that are high ranking enough, which means you're high ranking because you come from that sort of family, that sort of bloodline, that sort of lineage. Two, your ancestors are nothing to play with. Three, you have a very good connection with the Most High. And four, you have the strength to do this. You've probably done this in other lifetimes before. And five, you've probably had a difficult life that's prepared you for dealing with this. We don't get here and we don't cry. There's no reason for that. The thing is, you haven't been appropriately prepared for what's coming. And you're gonna face things that are gonna be very difficult to endure. Because we all know it's spiritual, so we're past that. We all know it's spiritual. Let me tell you something. The police that are in hand and all of these people, they all know it's spiritual as well. When people deal with gang stalkers in their city, the police are scared of them. Nobody really wants to deal with this. But that's what you're here for. You're here because you can endure it, because everybody else that may have faced untimely death or sickness or all of that, it doesn't happen to you. You complain that you get symptoms of things, but you don't fall. You're not in the hospital. You're not on life support. And they know that. They know that. You don't know that. They know they cannot do anything to you. The most they could do is stop you from ascending, because people like you step in the way of the strongholds they have in society. People like you demolish their businesses. People like you demolish everything that they've built. People like you cast demons back to hell. So they do everything that they can do to get you scared and to get you to stop. But as soon as you recognize your power and you step into it, nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants problems with you. Nobody wants to deal with it. Because nothing will help them. The spell work that they're doing is not going to work. Nothing's going to stop you. You're going to keep doing whatever it is that you're sent here to do. Once you ascend and you graduate, they can't do anything with you. They just will have to poke you every once in a while. They'll get pissed off at you every once in a while, but they fear you. They fear you because who doesn't fear something that cannot die? Think about these horror movies. Think about these scary movies where they keep shooting at this thing and it fell down the first couple bullets, but then it gets back up. And now it's just taking the shots close range. And not only is it taking the shots, it keeps moving towards you. You're shooting this thing, shooting, and this thing is walking towards you. It's not even running. It's unconcerned. This is where you get to when you've been in gang stalking long enough. So no more 6 years in gang stalking, 5 years in gang stalking, 3 years in gang stalking. We're getting this wrapped up really quickly. Really quickly. We got to get in gang stalking, wrap it up, and out of gang stalking. In gang stalking, learn all your lessons. Out of gang stalking. No more staying in gang stalking. What is this nonsense about gang stalking where you're never going to be stopped being targeted? What? We're done with that. We're done with that. We're getting out of this. We're done with that. So you guys got to open your ears. So let me explain something. First of all, people who are following you all over the place, you have to understand the sizable group that you got to take down. You got to take down not just people in your own network, people in your own family, people in your own social network, not just these people. You got to take down anybody that it was possible to bribe. Do you know how many people it's possible to bribe? And when it's done being possible to bribe people, then you got to take down the people who didn't stand up for themselves and they got bullied into it. They got gang stalked into gang stalking you, because that's how desperate it gets. You got to get those people as well. You got to clear a bunch of people out. So let me ask you a question logically. If there are 200 people that you got to take down, and really it's more like 2,000, okay? And we figure you have a year here. A year has 365 days. Do the math. 2,000 people, 365 days. So how many people you think you got to take down on average in order to clear through this entire thing in 1 year? Chances are it's probably more than 2,000, because in the beginning, you have to meet 20 to like 50 people a day. It's insane. I don't know. For me, I don't know how many people I was meeting a day, but it was too much. Because in the beginning, it's like everybody that you meet is a gang stalker. Everybody that you talk to has some sort of agenda. So you got to think about it logically. The more people that you meet during this gang stalking journey, the faster you're getting out. You want to meet a lot of them up front. You don't want to drag this out. You don't want to do 3 a day. You want to get through them really quickly. You want to race through this. If you think of yourself as karma, let me back it up. 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 Let's say person A has been committing the same crime for 10 years and no one's been able to get person A on any charges. Same crime, right? Even if the police know that person A committed this crime, without the necessary evidence, right? Without witnesses, they can't do anything. Everybody know person A is a crook, but no one has the necessary evidence for a conviction. No one has any witnesses that are willing to testify. That's where you come in. You survive it. You survive what the other 10 years of people couldn't survive. Why do you survive it? Because you're immortal spiritually. You're not losing your mind. You're not becoming terminally ill. You're not coming off your feet. And you're not passing away. They have no choice. So now you just got to battle them. And so what other people couldn't survive, you're surviving. You're the living witness. You are the evidence. That's why they have to meet you. It's like that in the spirit. All the previous people before, these people couldn't get karma for those people. But once they meet you, they get karma. You don't have to lift a finger. It has nothing to do with you doing spell work, with you retaliating, with anything. They just have to meet you. They have to scam you. They have to lie on you. They have to follow you. They have to intimidate you. They have to do this. So you must stand there and let them do it. When I was going through gang stalking, I could have avoided a bunch of people doing stuff to me because my intuition kicked in and said, this person's a scammer. This person's a liar. This doesn't make sense. But my spirit said, no, 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 calm down. Calm down, relax. Give them the money. Take the deal. Do the business with them. And I'm like, I'm getting scammed. I'm getting scammed. What is this? I'm getting scammed. As soon as they do it, their fate is sealed. It's tied. Why? Because they violated you. They violated you. They've been violating people and they've gotten away with it, but now they violated you. And with the spirits that walk with you, the energies that walk with you, the God that walks with you, the ancestors that walk with you are now witness to this. Now they can step in because that is their job. Their job is to avenge things that happen to you. And whoever I'm talking to right now, you know that when people violate you, things don't go well for them. I can't talk for anybody else. I can talk for myself. When people violate me, things do not go well for them. And I can tell you this, if I walk into a crowd of 10,000 people, the person or the people that I'm going to meet guaranteed are the people who are going to be the bad people. I've proven it to myself over and over and over again. No matter where I go, the people that I meet are like, it's like, man, of everybody, I meet this person. So no matter where I went, I don't care if I was searching for something in a directory, I don't care if I was looking up a number, I don't care if I Googled something, I specifically found people that were involved in this. Let me tell you how bad it was. I was looking for a company to help me with something, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew precisely what I wanted, and it was like I kept Googling for days until I landed on this company. And they turned me off at first, and I still worked with them. They turned me off. They pushed me away. They pushed my file away. The person I spoke to pushed me away like they didn't want to deal with me. And then I found the CEO or somebody high up in the company and end up dealing with them, and they came directly to my business, and lo and behold, gang stalkers. I dug deep and found gang stalkers. I was so careful, I promise you. It means it's meant to be. At some point, I just stop. I stop everywhere I go. So now I'm just relaxed with it. I go somewhere, I go to the mall and I meet them. I just have conversations. I enjoy my life because it's like, what am I going to do? I can't escape this. One, I'm not suffering. Two, I'm not falling. And three, it's like I'm gonna meet them no matter where. I'll be walking straight and my mind's like, go here. And I'm walking straight and my mind's like, go here and go there and go there and leave. And it's like clockwork. I go in the place, and as soon as I walk in, somebody races in, and their eyes are locked on me the whole time, and I'm the only one they want to talk to, and they come over and they only want to help me. Soon as we start talking, I'm like, this is a gang stalker, for sure. And anybody who's being gang stalked, see, people who are not being gang stalked, they don't know what that means. They don't know what it means when you say you're a gang stalker. That person's a gang stalker. They don't know because they've never been gang stalked. Gang stalkers have a scent. They have a scent. They stink when they talk, when they smile. If they say nothing at all, you know who they are. The way they smile. What is that? That's the demonic energy on them. That's the energy on them that you're smelling. It's a demonic energy. So you think you're seeing them, but it's the energy that you're seeing behind their face. It's like a clear, see-through sort of face behind their face. The smile, the smirk, the laugh. That sounds like a hyena. That's them. They all carry that spirit. And so as soon as this person comes up to you, it's like they can't help themselves. They're trying to love bomb. They got to slip in a little jab. They got to slip in a little insult. They got to slip something in, and you're like, oh my God, they can't even hide it. They hate you. They cannot stand you. So you never have to even be worried about knowing who gang stalkers are, because gang stalkers, the ones that are infected with this energy, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And wherever you go, they're going to be attracted to you, or you're going to pull them in because the meeting needs to occur. So I'm going to say to you, if the meeting needs to occur, what is the point of you feeling nervous to meet them? What is the point of you looking over your shoulder how many cars are following you for the day? What is the point of you worrying about how many people are walking behind you or are meeting you? You got to meet all these people. They got to pay. Because how can you get to a new beginning and there's so many people everywhere? You want to get to a new beginning and leave like 100 gang stalkers on the table? Or do you want to clear the board? I think we all know the answer to that question. So while you're in your death and rebirth phase, you got to meet every gang stalker that you can meet. You want to meet more of them. You want to go outside. You want to go to different places. And either way, you got to clear the board for you to get out. You're not getting out until all of them are done. This is part of the ascension process. The tolerance that you have for pain, pushing past your limit, pushing past the tolerance level that you know of, pushing past the place where you think this is the end of what I can tolerate. You will stay in it and you will continue to tolerate. Believe me, however you tolerate, you will continue to tolerate because you got to clear that board. It is what it is. You got to stay in there. So you're meant to meet these people. If you really think about it, Jesus was a targeted individual from a young age. He was targeted from birth, from the time he dropped out of the sky. There was a whole king looking for him. He remained targeted throughout his life. Everything he did, they had something to say. Everywhere he went, he was persecuted. It was a tough life. And he was persecuted so bad that they wanted to nail him to a cross. Like, really think about that. You right now that's being persecuted. I mean, I feel like if they could nail you to a cross, they would, publicly. But they can't do that stuff in our society anymore. So they have to persecute us silently. But believe me, Jesus was a targeted individual, and these kind of tactics that these people use is nothing new. And I believe whether it's persecution in Hollywood, in Scientology, wherever demonic activity is, these tactics to persecute people did not come from flesh and blood. This didn't come from people sitting down and brainstorming it. This stuff came from lower entities that people got in contact with. Entities that told them, well, if you do these things, you can break a person, you can kill a person while they're alive. And if you sacrifice that person while they're alive, they become a walking corpse. They give up on their life, they give up on their mission in life. Then we can give you the abundance that you take from them. We can give you what it is that they were supposed to have. But see, they could do that with other people. They just cannot do it with some people. And they cannot do it with anybody that continues to endure. They cannot do it with people who learn how to manifest. They cannot do it with people who connect with God. They cannot do it with people who ascend into heaven. Because what does the Bible say? Many are called, but few are chosen, because few continue to endure. But if you determine that you're one of those people who's going to make it through, who's going to endure, then you're going to be chosen. It's not like God chooses you. You choose you. You make yourself chosen by making sure that you make it through. You make yourself one of the chosen by making sure that you get through this. By sitting down one day and saying, you're not taking a damn thing from me. First of all, if they wanted you dead, you'd be dead, right? So let's get that out of the way. If they wanted you injured or kidnapped, you already be that. They want you persecuted. So now you got to sit back and you got to say, what am I willing to endure? What am I willing to put up with? Maybe I don't have to put up with these things. These things I can't do anything about. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep pushing through and living my life. What is stopping me from putting a smile on my face? Probably spell work and persecution and intimidation. But when you clear all of that out of the way, you'll be like me. If they can, they'll follow me outside. But if they do, I don't care. And I'm going to be happy regardless. And I'm going to keep moving regardless. And no one is taking the smile off of my face. I'm going to do whatever it is that I want to do anytime that I want to do it. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is you do not have to be afraid of these people. The fear is optional. I don't know what happened to my phone here. My phone froze, but here I am. I'm back again. As I was saying, fear is optional. You've put up with enough, right? Aren't we tired now? We're gonna label ourselves targeted individuals forever. We're exhausted, right? It's time to move forward. It's time to pick our legs off the floor, pick our face up off the floor. Time to move forward, continue with our life. It's enough. It is enough. They can't do anything. It's enough. Keep going. So I want to talk about fortifying your aura. We all have a general idea of what an aura is. So if we meet someone, we'll talk about somebody's aura. We'll talk about somebody, how you generally feel when you come around them. We'll talk about generally, you know, an aura is like, you can think about it like a force field around you. You can think about an aura like an imaginary sort of bubble around you. You have to fortify your aura. Now, first of all, if you're one of those people who's being targeted, chances are you have a very beautiful spirit. I have yet to meet a targeted individual where I thought I didn't like this person. Yet. I have yet to meet a targeted individual that I said, I don't know about them. I don't think I like them. I don't think they have like a good personality. I have yet. Every targeted individual that I meet is a lovely human being. So it just says to me that these people target people that are kind, that are nice. And in the beginning, I knew that they targeted people that are kind and that are nice, but I couldn't figure out why. And then now it makes sense. It's like, these are the people that they want to sacrifice, because these are the people that carry the most capacity to carry light. These are the people that have the most love in their heart. These are the people that make worthy sacrifices to these people. So they always want to sacrifice somebody who's a good person, who's a kind person, who's a decent person. And here's the thing. They look at that as a disadvantage because of how evil they are. But this is your advantage. This is your secret weapon. Because love is the highest aura that there is. Love is not the highest, but love is one of the highest vibrations that you can have. Because love overshadows everything. Let me explain that to you. Because it's easy to say, but let me make it make sense. Have you ever been in love? If you've really been in love, even if it was puppy love when you were in high school or, you know, you were younger, when you're in love, you forget that you're broke. Every day you wake up on a high. Every day you wake up and you're like, oh my God. And all you can focus on is the person you love. So you lost something, you lost some money, something didn't work out. And your mind falls back on the person that you love, and here comes that smile again. Here comes that happiness again. Here comes you beaming again. So imagine if at the height of being in love, somebody's sending spell work, energy at you. It's like you're noticing in your mind, you're like, that was odd. And then the love of your life walks into the room glowing, lighting up the room, and you're like, oh my God, I am so lucky. And that's all you can think about. And you forgot about the spell work. You forgot about the thing that you lost. You forgot about, because it's love. It's not a relationship where I lost my job, so she won't love me anymore. I got fat, so she doesn't love me anymore. I lost something, so she doesn't love me anymore. People that love you, when you lose your house, they're like, oh my God, yay, now we can move in together. Come stay with me. And in their heart, they're like, I hope he doesn't get a new home so he could just stay here. That's how people in love are. People in love are not saying, oh my God, you lost your job. I gotta dump you because you have no money. They're like, oh my God, we can spend all day together. Or they're like, oh, you can stay here all day, and they still have to go to work, but all day they're at work like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home to get back to that person that I love. So love fortifies you from problems. It fortifies your aura. It blocks out negative emotions. Things don't touch you the way that people who are living realistic lives start thinking realistically, like realistically speaking, I lost my job. I need to find a new job. People in love just want to be more in love. So how do you fortify your aura? When you're not in love and you don't have those circumstances around you, you need to fortify it with the happiness that you generate in yourself. Those strong feelings that you generate in yourself. If you have something that you're working on, something that you're focused on, something that you're determined about, something that you make go well, it's not about the reality of any of this. Because when you're in love, in the scenario that I gave you, the reality is that you lost your job and you don't have a place to stay. That will freak most people out. But people in love are so happy that this happened. Now they have an excuse to be together all the time. So it's not about the reality. It's not about what's realistic, and it's not about what makes sense. It's about what feels good. It's about the feeling that you've won, even though the circumstances are saying that you didn't. Other people are looking at it and they're like, oh my God, you lost your job. And you're looking at it like, oh my God, I might get married if I live here long enough. Do you see how everything is win-win when the vibration is high? When the perception or the perspective is positive, all of it is win-win. So I'm just here to tell you to adopt a different perspective. Stop being realistic about this thing. Who cares? Listen, when you step back, we didn't come here to live. We didn't come here to survive. We're all going to pass away at some point. Stop taking this thing too seriously. Stop holding on to this about these ego sort of attachments. What home I have, what car I have, what this I have, what that I have. Listen, ride the wave. Enjoy the experience. The magic carpet ride, that's what I call it. You're here and you're being gang stalked. It's a different experience. It's a different reality. But let's look at it from a different perspective. The correct way to look at it, the highest perspective, is that you're of service to God. Because if you keep meeting people and people keep getting their karma, who do you think wants people to get their karma? So that must mean you're working for a higher power. Now, look at it. The whole time they've been gang stalking you, they can't get rid of you. You still eat every day. Didn't you find a way to eat every day? Didn't you find somewhere to sleep every day? You still have internet to be on YouTube watching videos. I would say you're pretty fine. You're okay. You're not in the hospital fighting for your life. You're not missing limbs. Bombs are not dropping all over the place around you. Relax. Go through it. Meet everybody. And learn. Master yourself. Because that's what ascended masters do. That's what grand masters do. People who come here who are at an elevated place in life. It's only certain people that get gang stalked and endure. It's other people get gang stalked and within 3 weeks they're done, they're folded. But they're having an issue with you. Do you know what it's like gang stalking someone for 6 years? You already accepted like 2 years ago that there's nothing you can do but just like follow this person around and like bother them. What else are you gonna do? You can't do anything with them. It's been 6 years. You gotta go back and tell the client, like, look, I can't make this person lose their mind. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. We usually do it in 3 weeks, but I don't know. Like, something's wrong with this one. They can't do anything with you. So let go of any fear. You don't have to be afraid of people that they cannot do anything to you. I keep saying this every day. They cannot do anything to you. That means you have the upper hand. So let's bring it back. If high vibing emotions block you from low vibing energy work, then it's safe to say that high vibing spirits rank higher than low vibing spirits. And we all know that. We all instinctually know that. So if you're worshiping a God of light, and they're praying to dark entities to pull you down, then it means with your prayer, with your resilience, and with your happiness, you can walk free. You can walk right out of this. And the thing about this is people keep waiting for the gang stalking to stop. And you don't need to. It's like saying, I'm in a relationship with someone, I don't want to be with them. But I gotta wait for them to leave me because, I don't know, they won't go away. What? Walk away. That's what I had to do. You know how long it took me to get through walking away? A year. When I first started realizing that I gotta pull away from this was January of last year. And they could energetically feel me moving away. And there was this song that kept playing in the store that was, everybody knows this song, this old school song. It goes, "Don't you forget about me." Because I started having days where I just used to push this thing aside. Like, I would just pull myself back into normal reality, and they would try to pull me back in. And they succeeded for a year. And it took all the way to getting over here. It took all the way to getting over here for me to master completely detaching myself and walking away. It took a year. It took a year of detaching myself. So don't think that this is easy or this is going to happen right away. This is going to take a little time. But with determination and persistence, you can find normal again. No matter where I go, I don't care if anybody's following me or not. I don't care what they do. And I had this mentality that I don't care if they do jumping jacks on the side of the road. Like, if I'm walking straight and they're doing jumping jacks on the side of the road and they're waving pom-poms and they're trying to get in my way, as long as you don't touch me, I don't care. I don't care what you do. As long as you do not touch me, I do not care. So they do little stupid things. We all know what they do. They sit there and they wait. And then as soon as you walk up, they drive away. But think about it. What kind of effort does it take to find a random person on the road, say, "I'm going to give you $10, and all I want you to do, you don't have to do anything to this person. Just sit on the side of the road, wait until they walk and drive off." Number one, the police can't do anything about that because it's not illegal. Number two, it's technically not harassment. Number three, because they're doing it everywhere you go, that's why you're noticing it, but it's not doing anything to you. These are the things you got to let go of. Please understand me. Lighten your load. Lighten the load of what you want to carry. Just by virtue of this person showing up to do that kind of dumb crap, because what kind of human being agrees to that in the first place? But by virtue of somebody showing up, they're going to get their karma, and it has nothing to do with you, and who cares? Just by them showing up. But what does it give you to notice that? It just takes away your peace. And they did it without touching you. Break free. Break free of this persecution that's not persecution. It's not persecution. It's intimidation tactics. It's the same thing as, let's say you go to court, right? And no one touches you, but you look out of the window and you see someone in the bushes waving a gun like this. Did they shoot you? No. Did they threaten you? No. All they did was they looked at you and they waved the gun. You're going to say, they want to shoot me, they want to kill me. But you had to leap to get to that. And that's human psychology. You had to take the leap to get there. But the reality is that they did not threaten you. You feel threatened, but they didn't threaten you. And so what is the correct answer in this situation? You keep showing up to court. You keep showing up to court until somebody actually does something. And if you test them and you push them, you realize the person waving the gun is probably a coward. Because let me tell you something, people that want to kill you do not show you that. If I know I really want to do that, I'm not going to show you my face. I want to get you in a dark alley or something, and I want to get it over with. When I do things like that, I'm trying to intimidate you. We must draw the line between intimidation and a real threat. I'm West Indian. And let me explain to you, if you're from some sort of third world country where we feel like we have the manual on human suffering, we know what real suffering is. Somebody comes up to us and they say that they're depressed. My parents, my grandparents, my family, they don't take this thing seriously. Because they say, if you wanted to kill yourself, you will. You just want attention. That's how these people's minds operate. Because they think they have the blueprint on suffering. They say to you, listen, you want to kill yourself? What do you leave for me? You know how hard I work to take care of you guys? You know how hard it was to build this house? You know how hard it was for this and that? Because these people don't make a lot of money all at once. They make a little bit of money accumulated, and they need a lot of discipline and a lot of patience to accomplish anything. Life is tough, but they endure. They keep grinding. They live on prayer. They live on prayer. The minutes that they get low, the days that they get low, that they get tired, they rejuvenate themselves with prayer. So when you come and you say you're feeling low and you're feeling depressed, they're like, you're spoiled. What do you mean? So they don't take it seriously. They're like, go get a job. And if you have a job, you don't have time to be depressed. And it's like that for a reason. It's like that. Gang stalking is like that. Occupy yourself through this thing, because you're gonna have to go through it, okay? Pick up a hobby, pick up something that you want to do. For me, it's growing this channel and putting my messages out. Pick up something that you want to do and micro focus on it. Because if you're out here still complaining about a car that stopped and drove by, you got too much time on your hands. If you're gonna complain about little old ladies and women and children and all that walking by, we're too deep into it. We're focusing on them too much. We're giving them too much of our valued attention. Do you know when you pay for an ad, what you're actually paying for? If you have a company and you're paying a platform for an ad, you're paying for people's attention. You pay money for people's attention just so they could stop and look at your ad. And these people, for free, are fighting for your attention. They're fighting for your attention, and you're giving it to them. So that's the first thing you got to do, is you got to take away your attention. Oh, but they did this and that. Don't look at them. You're not going to be the first group that has to ignore people. Women, beautiful women, have to ignore a lot of nonsense as well. Let a woman walk past a construction site. Hell, she could be fat. She could be whatever she is. If she passes by a construction site and these thirsty men are on lunch break, they're going to look over and they're going to make a lot of noise. Okay? And she has to learn to look the other way. And she only has this small frame of time to look the other way and get through it. That's it. Oh, they're doing this right now. I just got to look this other way for 10 minutes until I walk by, and boom, now I'm free. You got to look at it like that. Imagine yourself like that. I just have to look the other way, not give them any of my attention, not focus on them. Are they going to trigger you? Are they going to say things to piss you off? Are they going to do things? Are they going to cross the boundaries and pass their place? Yes, but this is for a moment. This is for a moment in time. This is not permanent. Nobody is worth, not you. I say this with love. You in particular are not worth gang stalking 10 years. You're not. Warren Buffett, maybe. Bill Gates, maybe. We need money out of this. This takes effort. This takes time, and it's highly illegal. I need money out of this to do this. 10 years for someone who's not even showing any signs of trauma. It's like you start gang stalking yourself. After the first 6 months, you start gang stalking yourself, because everywhere you turn, anybody that looks at you, anything. I'm not saying that it's not happening, but I'm saying there's a certain percentage of it that may not be genuine gang. And they know that because it's the psychology of how the mind works. Coincidences start happening and we start gang stalking ourselves. So we must go the opposite direction. We must go in reverse. Things that are actually gang stalking, we must say it's not gang stalking. It's a coincidence. We must be delusional like people in love. People in love don't see anything wrong with losing a job. Something that is monumental to other people. People in love see losing a job as good luck. So you got to see your gang stalking the same way. And I'm going to help you through that. You fortify your aura with good feeling thoughts. You remember who you were before the gang stalking. You remember what you had before gang stalking. You remember the life you lived before gang stalking, and you fortify yourself in that little delusional bubble. And you start manifesting from there. Well, technically you're being gang stalked, but as you're in here, things are calm. As you're in your house, things are okay. If you don't think about it, maybe you'll have an hour of peace. Maybe you can relax for a bit. Maybe you can push yourself to play a board game or watch Netflix or have a bath or... What's stopping you from getting a massage if you have the money for it? Can gang stalkers really follow you into a room where there's only one bed and a masseuse? You'll say, well, the masseuse will be the gang stalker, but they still have to do the massage. Like, think about it. That's how you have to question yourself, like, what's stopping me? That's what I was literally like, what's stopping me from being happy? And then I started being happy in defiance. What's stopping me from doing my makeup? What's stopping me from going out for my birthday? What is stopping me from going to a restaurant? What's stopping me from going to the movies? Nothing, 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 nothing. So I just started doing stuff. Get back to your life. Step out of this crap. They've taken over your perceptions of life. You gotta snap out of it. There are things that you do that you have no choice but to do. And you need to apply that to everything else that you liked. I liked going to the movies. I like doing this. I like doing that. Then go do it. What are they going to do? You know what they did? They used to make people sit in the movies with me. It'd be like two guys over here and somebody over there and somebody behind me. You know what they did during the movie? They watched the movie. Because what else can they do? Can they walk around me? They just watched the movie. And when it was done, that's it. We all got up and we went home. That's it. They're paying losers. People who have no morals. People who should have said, but why do you want to do that to someone? That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, I don't want to be part of this. It's weird. That's the kind of people that they're paying. People that didn't even want to say that. It doesn't matter if they liked you or not. Let me tell you, I wouldn't gang stalk people I don't like. Out of having class and dignity, why would I get up out of my bed, out of my house to go follow people anywhere? It's weird. Those are the kinds of people that they get. People that will take their time in their spare time and come and troll someone online. Come on. These are not even people that are worth your time. These are low-life people. If you I promise you, if you have to see where these people live and what they do and what they think is appropriate, you wouldn't be a part of this. You wouldn't think this is worth your time. This is low vibing people. You just got to get back to your life. And it takes one foot in front of the other foot, in front of the other foot for a while, but eventually you get there. Eventually, one day, you sit up in bed and you're like, who cares what people are doing outside? Because you have to understand, as your reality gets better, their reality gets worse. That's the spell work that they put you in. This is risky. This is risky. This is banking on them keeping you in a low vibration and them keeping you in a position where you're scared. As things get better for you, things get worse for them. And can you imagine the only thing that you have to do is be happy? What a blessing with pleasure. All you have to do is be happy and go along your day and things start working for you. And if you can find your bliss, and if you can find your pleasure, and if you can find your happiness, and if you can find your high vibing feelings, feelings of love, the same sort of aura as being in love, then all of a sudden you'll notice that things start working out for you. The same things that didn't work before are working now because you found your equilibrium, you found your peace. So it is worth it to take the journey of finding your peace and your happiness in situations where people want to destroy you and destroy your life. The purpose of gang stalking is for you to go through a transformation. And that is, when we say people transition, we talk about people passing away. And so you're transitioning your old self away. The part of you that would be susceptible to watching someone following you, to notice bad things happen, to respond to negative things. You're transitioning out of that old self and you're gaining new life. You're gaining a new version of yourself, a stronger version of yourself. And unfortunately, because this is all spiritual, you can only access this through the Holy Mother. You can only access this through God. So as much as it's painful, you learn a million new skills as you go through this process. You learn, it teaches you to endure. It teaches you to master yourself. It teaches you to connect to the spirit realm. It teaches you who God really is. And it puts you in connection with your purpose in life, what we call your North Node, your true purpose in this life. And whatever talents and gifts and abilities that you've had, that's been bestowed upon you, you get to now step into that and excel at that. Because as you're going on that journey of exploring your highest self and excelling at the highest level that you can and giving it everything that you have, you're going to be persecuted. So gang stalking prepares you for the persecution that you're going to go through, going on that journey. I just want to say to you, please stop accepting gang stalking as punishment. I'm going to say something that doesn't make sense to you right now, but it will. Gang stalking, it has to be looked at as a blessing. You have to get to the point with gang stalking where you're like, wait a minute, am I being wait, oh my God, wait, it's my turn. It's my turn. It's going to be tough, but it means that if I get through it, I get safe passage. I get to move forward to that thing that I'm good at. And every one of us is good at something. Maybe you don't know what you're good at yet because you didn't get to do it yet. You didn't get to open that business. You didn't get to do those things, but you have a skill. So I come from being gang stalked in order to be a drug mule. They wanted to force me into being a drug mule. And for sure, I'm not doing that. So it's like I look at people who were drug dealers that want to get out of that they are persecuting, and I'm thinking, if you can make money selling drugs, if you can be out on a street corner all night, if you can make this work for you and it's illegal, what can you do if it were legal? Like, you can actually run a business. You have a skill. So perhaps the drug dealer has never explored that skill. They've never opened up, a factory or, a store or whatever it is. Maybe they've never done it, but they have the mindset, they have the discipline, they have the determination to do it. So if you can get through the gang stalking phase, you have to look at yourself after you've gotten through gang stalking. Like Jay-Z said, if you escaped what I escaped, that's how you're gonna look at people after you're done with gangs. That's how I look at people. I look at people like, if you escaped what I escaped, you think you're gonna go get a job? What? I wanna roll the dice. I wanna do the biggest thing that I've ever done, because nothing I'm gonna do is gonna be as hard as what I've just gone through. Then you're gonna say, oh, well, maybe people troll you and they leave bad reviews and they do. None of that is as hard as being gang stalked. That's nothing. What are you talking about? Gang stalking is a boot camp for success. If you can go through gang stalking, you better not try to come out of gang stalking and go do anything mediocre. And I say this every chance that I can get. You escape gang stalking, you come out of it, you better go be a CEO, get ready to meet the president. I mean, you got to think not big, you got to think galactic. Because what can you not put up with? They were gang stalking you for you to be homeless. You think you're going to worry about if you take a loan and you can't pay it back? You're going to worry about if you can't get business? You're going to worry about if you can't get customers? You can even get the police to take a police report. What are you talking about? You were followed all over. You might as well be a president, because that's what presidents and celebrities go through. That's what rich people go through. So why am I going through what rich people go through and I'm not rich? You got to connect the dots. Why am I going through what rich people go through if I'm not rich? Maybe I'm meant to be rich. That's how I see it. It's meant for me because I can handle it. I can handle people following me. I can handle people hacking me. I can handle people trolling me. I can handle psycho stalkers. I can handle people not having boundaries. I can handle people lurking outside the bushes outside of my house. Hey, if I'm dealing with what rich people deal with, where's my money? Where's my gang stalking money? Where's my rich money? Because I want the money because I'm already dealing with everything else. So God is saying, if you can get through it, go get the money. Because you can already deal with the crazy part. Now think about it the opposite way. Think about if you had made all this money, worked so hard, climbed to the top of the mountain, and as soon as you got there and you were ready to pitch your flag, prepare a table, lay out the cloth, put the food out, and the first thing that showed up was a sea of gang stalkers. And you've never dealt with gang stalking before. Think about how that would feel. You did all of this work so these people can come steal it away from you and try to knock you off of your path. This is why you had to get gang stalked first. I say it all the time. I say I'm grateful that it happened now. It happened up front. Because now I know that it's possible. And when you're gang stalked, you can look at the world and you can look at celebrities and you can realize that celebrities are being gang stalked every day as well. People look at them and people say, oh my God, this person's so lucky. They're so beautiful. They married this person. They have all this money. They're rich, but they're being gang stalked. Think about how it feels that you can't even go on a private island without them getting a picture of you. Something is always leaking. What do you mean your album leaked? You were hacked. You were hacked. They're always hacking you. They're always in your stuff. You have houses all over the place and they're coming in and out of your house, moving things around. How must that feel? You already know how that feels now. So if you got there, what would it feel like? It would feel like a regular Tuesday. Oh, I'm a TI. That happened to me before. And then you see celebrities where out of nowhere, they went bankrupt. Completely bankrupt. They have nothing. They can't get into any movies. They can't do anything. But they're an amazing actress or actor. They were at the top of their game. They made all this money. Where did it go? How did it happen? See, now you get to think about how it happened to you. You were at the top of your game. Everything was great. And then all of a sudden, what happened to you? Things started falling down apart, like around you. It's the same thing. So what are you given right now? You're given the gift of surviving it, of learning it, of enduring it, getting through it, learning all the lessons. And now that you're on the other side and somebody said, well, you can have stardom, but you're going to be gang stalked. You're like, wait, the same thing I did for free when I was broke, you're going to pay me to do it now? How many millions? Because I would do it for 10K, but if you're going to give me 10 million, I mean, knock yourself out. Follow me everywhere. Please be my guest. Because you're not going to do it like they do it. You're not going to go mortgage houses. You're not going to go mortgage cars. You're not going to put yourself in payments. You're not going to do any of that. You know how gang stalkers are. So when people lock their door, just the lock, you're gonna put bolts on the outside of your house. People are gonna be like, why are you bolting your house? You're like, because I'm a TI. I know how this goes. They're gonna be like, why are there no cameras? Because you guys are watching me on the camera. You're gonna be like, why this and why that and why that? You're gonna be like, listen, I'm a TI. I know how this works. I've been here before. And they're gonna be like, why don't you trust these people? And why don't you do this? And why don't you? Because you're a TI. You know how this works. This is all it is. This is all it's about. This is what it is. Get through your TI phase quickly and look forward to the new beginning. I'm going to read the card again that I shuffled. Rebirth and new beginnings. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Get through this 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is, however long they want to drag it out. Maybe they'll drag it out to 4 years, but you could check out. As soon as you feel like you've learned enough lessons, mentally check out and start rebuilding your life. That's what I did. When I say I'm divorced from gang stalking, it doesn't mean that there's not gang stalkers trickling around everywhere trying to do things to intimidate me and what. It doesn't mean that. It means I don't care. I am checked out. If this was a relationship, I'm checked out. I'm done. Maybe my physical body might be on that street walking around, but mentally I am checked out. I'm done. I want to build anew. I want to look forward. I am making plans. And you know what? I went from learning how to get my self-care back, working out at the gym, going through my glow up, and now I'm at the point I'm wearing makeup again. I'm getting dressed up again. I feel beautiful again. My body's coming back. I'm cooking what I want. I'm having a great time. You think they're going to take my summer from me? You think they're going to take my summer from me? Listen, we got to go everywhere together. The gang stalkers and I, we got places to go. They got to follow me everywhere because I'm doing things, okay? They got to be where I go. I am. That's their prerogative. It's their money. They could do whatever they want to do. I am also doing whatever I want to do. I am checked out. I don't care. They're not taking another summer from me. It's warm outside. It's patio season. Don't you think I miss patios? You don't think I miss all of that stuff? On a Friday, leaving work early. You know, not that I should have. Leaving work early at 3 o'clock to run off to a patio, wings and drinks. You don't think I missed that? You're sitting over here, you're a gang stalker, and you're sitting over here, and I'm surrounded by gangs. Hey, guess what? Cheers. Cheers. It's Friday. Cheers. Let's drink to that. And I'm known for it. They know me. I'll stop and I'll pet their dogs because the dog's cute. You're a gang stalker, but the dog's cute. I'll talk to the kids because you're a gang stalker, but the kid's cute. And I wanted to say hi. So, you know, I don't care. I don't care. I don't have it in me anymore. Do you know when you're tired of it, you're done. I don't care. Like, that's just what it boils down to. I don't have it in my heart to give them anything more. I'm so done. Get there. Just get there. You just don't have anything more to give them. I don't want to see no more stupid videos. I don't want to hear anything more. I don't care. It's like as soon as I hear it, I'm irritated. That's where you got to get to. Are you not tired? That's it. I don't care about a social network. I don't care if I have friends, family, or whoever. It's not about that for me. I want the little things again. I want the little things back. I want the spas. I want the dinner. This is what I want. I want my life back. I'm taking my life back. I never gave anybody permission to take my life in the first place. This is what it works like for you. You never gave anyone permission to come into your reality. What are they doing here? Take your attention away from them. Snatch it back. Do not pay attention to them and leave. Leave this reality. That's it. And build a new one like a kid. In your imagination, you build a new one. That's what all manifesting is. Manifesting is not about reality. Manifesting is about sitting here, imagining something new, liking how it feels. It feels like your safe space mentally. You keep going back to it. You've stayed here mentally in your mind so long, you can almost touch it. Now you just want it to be the reality that you have. You want to go back there. You don't want it in your mind anymore. You want it in reality. You need it now. You need it. And now you start making it happen. In reality, you start making it happen in the real world. And that's it. And you fly away and leave these dumbasses here waving at you on the street. Who cares? They're going to feel stupid eventually. Who cares actually if they feel stupid or not? Who cares? You're tired of imagining it. You're tired of needing it. You're tired of it only being in your dreams. And now it just needs to be in the real world. You just need to drift in that direction. And that's it. And you walk away. Whose permission do you need? Who's going to come and shoot you in the streets? You think people wait 3 years of harassing you to do that? They can't do anything. So accept gang stalking as a marker of favor. Because like I said, you're not going to come out of here and just go back to a job. Don't go back to your life. Was it really that exciting? Build a new one. Maybe you want to live in Indonesia. Maybe you want to go to Thailand from here. Maybe you always wanted to visit Berlin. Why on earth do you want to go back to the same thing that you were doing before? Do something new. Go somewhere new. Enjoy something totally new. That's how I see it. So I would take it as a marker of favor from the Most High, a marker of favor from the divine. I would take it as something in a sense that should be celebrated, because why on earth would you go through all of this? Give me a second, because my audio went off. I don't know what happened here. I don't know what happened here. It's the gang stalkers. The gang stalkers did it.
The era of DevOps has driven tremendous innovation. CI/CD.
I like my relaxing music. There we go. There we go. The gang stalkers did it. I would see it as a marker of favor from God. I would see it as God just favoring you, because to be given that gift, to know how to master yourself, master your mind, come out of a place of desperation, of hopelessness, of wanting the world to go back to normal. I want to tell you, it's not going to go back to normal. You're putting a death to your old self, and you're going to navigate through this world, through this tunnel. It's a dark tunnel. You're going to navigate through, and you're going to come out a better version of yourself. And you're going to keep clinging to the new. You're going to keep clinging to the better. You're going to keep clinging to your dreams. Because like I said before, the more you hold on to something, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And you just have to keep holding on to it. If it's something in your heart that you believe that you want, that you deserve, then nobody should be able to take it away from you. You have one life. This is one life. You're not letting anybody take this away from you. You're going to keep pushing through. Every challenge that you overcome. So let me explain some challenges. One of the first challenges is people following you all over. Can you mentally get over that? And if you can, then that's a blessing. That's a gift. You have the gift of selective focus, deciding where your attention goes. If you are hacked and you can get over being hacked and not caring about it, then you have the gift of having people invade your privacy and still pushing forward, because you know that all eyes are on you and they're following everything that you're doing. That's a particular gift. I'm an extremely private person, or I was. I was a very private person, and the hacking and the invasion of privacy really used to get under my skin. Now I am an open book, and I don't care, because they can't stop anything. They cannot stop me from doing what I want to do. Sure, they'll try to sabotage it. They'll try to step in the way. They'll try to send spell work at me. But I told you, your willpower is stronger than spell work. Spell work can only go so far. Your willpower is stronger than spell work. And when you jump over spell work, it goes back. The energy goes back because it's not sticking to you. So every single challenge that you overcome that takes mind over matter, that takes strength, every single challenge is a blessing to you. It's like a rite of passage. It's like another hurdle that you overcome, and it brings you closer and closer to closing off this cycle for yourself. And that's what you're here for. You're really here to close off this cycle. You want to respond appropriately. And the best way to respond to people like that and crap like this is just like ignore it. Ignore these people. These people are, like I said, they're fighting for your attention. And I have a business, and let me tell you, I pay a lot of money for people's attention. And I cannot believe that I gave all of my attention away for free when I myself have been paying to get people's attention with ads. So I'm not doing that anymore. I want to talk about building of a kingdom, building of your new life, because that's what you're doing. You're building a new life. You're building a new path. You're building a new way for yourself. There are multiple phases that you have to go through in this gang stalking journey. It is not easy. As most of us know, there's a lot that we have to go through, but I think what a lot of TIs get stuck in is we give all of our attention to all the negative. And as we keep replaying all this negative, these dark emotions, that it gets depressive, it gets scary, it's like feeling of no hope, feeling that your luck is gone, and it's like you're in a never-ending cycle of negativity. You have to continue to find your positivity and your hope and your happiness. You got to feel better. And you got to keep going to places where you feel better every single time. Yes, you can listen to things about gang stalking, but we don't want to listen to crap about that makes us feel worse. We want to feel better. You want to see a rainbow at the end of this suffering. You want to get to the point where you're like, I want to hear about people that are talking about solutions. I want to hear about people that are saying, well, how do I get through this problem and that problem? And I want to hear so many solutions to blocking every problem that now that I've blocked all of it, I'm peaceful. And from this place now, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do something better for myself. I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm feeling better, hopeful about what I'm going through. This is what my channel is about. My channel is never going to tell you you're stuck in it and you have to do, and blah, blah, blah. No. Because you said so. Oh, but everybody else gets so why can't you be the first one? There's always a first one. But everybody else got stuck. So what? Who cares about odds? Is it possible? I'm here to tell you, yes, it is possible. If you stick through it and you do it the right way, it is more than possible. I'm living proof I did it. I don't care what they say. I'm living proof I did it. I didn't have to leave my city. I didn't have to move. I didn't have to do anything. I'm living proof. I did it. I got out. They're besides themselves. They're pissed off. Let me tell you, the way gang stalkers talk to me now is they're resentful because people invested a lot of money to gang stalk me and there was no benefit out of it. Nothing came from it. I'm not on my face. I'm on my feet. So when they see me, they're resentful. They're pissed off. When I walk the streets, they honk. And when every 5 steps I take, they're honking, they're upset, they're pissed off. Like, screw this girl. They wanted me to lay my life on the ground. No, you lay your life on the ground, as a matter of fact. You shouldn't have a life. It's too bad you invested your money poorly in persecuting other people. That sucks for you, buddy. And that's how I see it. Too bad. We're moving forward. It is what it is. I want to tell you, I want to talk about the new beginnings because it's very important. First of all, Rome was not built in a day. So do not expect to come out of this and shoot right up. You need time because you're building something brick by brick. You're learning how to build. one step at a time. You got to learn, and learning involves trial or error. Learning involves failing. You fail your way to learning. Because you've been a TI for a while, you're used to things not working out your way, so you misconstrue failure. You mistake failure that is redirecting you to the right path as bad luck, or you misconstrue the failure with people standing in your way, and that's not true. That is not true at all. You're failing your way to success, and you're failing your way to your new beginning. And you must keep that in mind, and you must keep going, you must keep pushing, and you must hold on to your good feeling thoughts and the things that are supposed to work out for you. So that's number one. Number two, nothing is by accident. You're going to think everything that is happening here is by divine orchestration. Everything. You being gang stalked, you being in this live right now, whatever it is, you losing something, you gaining something, you falling flat on your face, all of it is by divine orchestration, and you're going to find out why eventually. I can go through story after story after story about things that happened, and I was so pissed off. And then later on, I was like, oh my God, thank God this happened, because if this didn't happen, then that would have happened. And if that had happened to me, I would have been stuck. Everything is for a reason. You just have to go through the phases of your life. They're meant to teach you something. And if you're not coming out of it where you're not making it through, then what are you going to do? You're not just going to sit here stagnant and have like nothing work out and just like give up your life, like lay in bed all day. It's like so dumb. You're going to get up and you're going to try a different way. You're going to say, this is what I always wanted to do, and this is how I'm going to get it done. And that way doesn't work. And you need to fail. You need to fail over and over and over again until you get to the point where you're like, I know these 10 ways don't work, and I know that these 2 or 3 ways slightly worked. Maybe if I combine them and I rework them and I do something else, maybe then I'll see results. And believe me, you're going to get to the point where it's going to be a micro win. It's going to be something very small, a very small progress that gives you a lot of hope, and you're going to continue going, and you're going to continue being pushed through. I think if you're going through gang stalking, sincerely, I really do. I think that you were called for a higher purpose. And I think that you being in your higher purpose is going to lead you to what you have to contribute to society, to actualizing the highest version of yourself, and to becoming the best version of yourself. And you really just have to put one foot in front of the other the entire way through. I think that I'm not sure if the rest of what I have to say, I'm going to keep the rest of this, because the rest of what I have to say, I don't think aligns to the general message of what I am going to say now. I'm going to leave this for another live that I'm going to do, because there is a lot here. But here is where I'm going to leave it. I have another video called the phases of gang stalking on my page. So if you go to my channel, I've organized all the videos into playlists. I have playlists for emotional healing and spiritual healing, where you can nurse yourself back in emotionally to feeling normal, to feeling good again. You can cleanse your energy of all of the burden that's been dumped on you. Then I have playlists that are really critical information for people who have been TIs but still don't quite look at gang stalking from a bird's eye view. And then I have information for like short form videos, and I just started this playlist, short form videos that basically talk about, they're about like 15 to 20 minutes, and they're very direct to the point about things that you want to know, things that you want to know how to do, how to make police reports, because this is organized crime. This is not like reporting one incident that you've been wronged. This is organized crime, how you make these police reports, how you do certain things, considerations that you're supposed to have. So please go through the channel and look at all of that stuff. But the last thing that I want to talk about is, and then I have another video, I think it's called in a playlist called Critical Content. It's called The Phases of Gang Stalking. It's a good listen. Listen to it and figure out what phase you're in, and you can get a good idea of possibly how much longer you have in this crap, because nobody wants to be here, to be honest. But if you're forced to be here and you can't get out, then I want to tell you about the hard and soft skills that you're going to be gaining in this process. First of all, you're gonna know how to be slandered. I don't know about you, but anytime I've ever heard celebrities and it's like something happens and it's all over the place, it's like, my goodness, I don't know how they, like the last person that I heard that the media was talking about that really like was difficult for me, I thought if I was them, this would be difficult, was J-Lo. Like, she literally waited 20 years for this guy to come back, and he did the same thing. And now that's all they talk about. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if that's tough. You're gaining that right now. Because everybody, whether you know it or not, they're slandering you. That's why relationships are not working. That's why you're isolated. That's why a lot of things are happening the way that they're happening. So you're learning how to deal with slander. You're learning to deal with being targeted everywhere you go. It's like somebody seems to have some type of problem. Somebody has some issue. People are making issues up with you out of thin air, etc., etc. So you're learning how to be targeted. Celebrities cannot just go anywhere and talk to anybody and open up to anybody, and because they know they're an easy target. They have money and they have something that people want. They have to be careful. You're learning how to be hacked. We all know that we're hacked. And if you don't know that you're hacked, then you know now. That's how they're following you through your cell phone. And I'm going to make a live. I'm going to make maybe not a live, but a video on ways in which you're being tracked and monitored to really give you some insight into the different ways that these people are coming after you. So there's that. You're learning how to deal with not just stalkers, but deranged stalkers, people that don't know when to stop. Like, this should have been done a while ago. They're still moving forward with it. They're still going. They're dragging it out. You're learning how to deal with that. I remember I used to hear stories about celebrities where it was like 10 years they've had one stalker, and I'm like, what the hell? And then they find the stalker in their house, and now they got to take this person to court. That's insane. So you're learning how to deal with that. You're learning how to deal with thieves. Professional thieves, people who create illusions around you to take from you, to steal from you, even if it's just your joy and your peace. You're learning how to deal with that. Scammers, high-level scams. Like, there are scammers who might come and say something to you and hope to get some money, and then there are people who are going to put together a PowerPoint. They're going to edit a video. They're going to rent an office space, put their pictures and fake awards on the wall. Everything just to get money out of you. These are the type of scammers that gang stalkers are. They're high-level scammers. So you're learning to deal with that, learning to recognize that and get over it. You are learning to deal with spell work, because no matter what you want to call it, you know it's spell work. You know that there's something here that is not right. These people are not right. Something is not right. You're always getting sick. You're always losing money. Something's not going right. It's spell work. And you got to learn how to deal with it. I have a lot of playlists and a lot of videos that talk about how to deal with spell work, how to clean spell work off of you, how to, if you've been a TI for a while and you've never done any spiritual cleansing, you have a lot of deep cleaning to do to start feeling normal again, to stop the anxiety, to stop the fear, to stop the paranoia, and to get you back to where you should be normally. I always say, The gang stalking does not work without the paranoia and the fear and the anxiety. Once you clean all of that off, you start feeling normal again. You start feeling strong again. And it pulls you from the world of just seeing gang stalkers outside to just walking outside and seeing the normal world again, the world that you came out of. And it's not to say that the normal world doesn't have these couple weird people, but you're back in the normal world. You can just walk down the street and go for a walk and go do something and be fine. And even though you see somebody that's weird there, it's like you just see someone that's weird. You don't see a gang stalker in the way that you're seeing it now. But you have to clean the anxiety, the paranoia off. I have a lot of very detailed videos about how you can do all of that. And just to let you know, people that are spiritual charge a lot of money for that information. You can get all of that for free. All of that for free. Please check out my videos. I have all of it in there, all of this advice. I went through everything. And that feeling of feeling the heaviness on your head and feeling the weight on your shoulder, I have videos about all of it. I have very specific videos of very specific things for you to do to get rid of it. Be prepared. You start feeling lighter from day one, but it might take a couple weeks, a couple months, depending on how long you've been gang stalked. It will take a couple weeks and a couple of months. And then all of a sudden you're gonna sit back here and be like, whoa, I feel normal again. What the hell? You're gonna be scared to admit it to yourself because you're not gonna wanna jinx yourself. But every single day you wake up, and healing is a process. So day after day after day after day after day, you start feeling better and better and better and more normal until you get to a point where they can't break you out of the normal because you've taken all this spiritual cleansing and you've made it into a routine. So every time they try to send some dirty stuff over, you're cleaning it up. What has happened is nobody's cleaned it up, so it's piled on. So that's why it feels so heavy. But once you're cleaning it every day incrementally, it's like a really disgusting place where it's like hoarders buried alive, but you have no team to come help you. So every day you're throwing out things here and there, and finally you come to the point where one day it's like, oh my God, I actually threw out the last piece of garbage. And I've swept this floor so much, and I've mopped so much, and I've wiped down so much, it's actually polished, it's perfect. That's how it gets. It takes a while. Take it from me. I learned it the hard way. Nobody taught it to me. I had to learn everything through trial and error, and I put it all out there. So it's all in my videos. It's all in everything that I have posted. You learn how to deal with fake love and love bombing. You learn how to deal with people who are disingenuous and that are showing affection for a particular reason. And that reason obviously is nefarious. It's no good. So you might want to know that before you acquire anything in life, how to tell the real from the fake for sure. You learn how to deal with people tracking you all over the place. First of all, one of the skills you better learn going through this is how to slip away from people, how to move around undetected. It is a skill that you need from here on out. How do I move around undetected? Because obviously the people who've targeted you, they have money. And if you get successful, you're gonna deal with people who have real money, real budgets. People who are targeting celebrities and tracking them, they don't just have a couple million, they have like hundreds. And they have a vested interest and they have something to gain from it. So if you get successful from here, it's not gonna be this low budget person that's targeting you now. It's going to be people with real money. So you might want to learn how to move around, how to slip in and out of situations, slip in and out of an appointment, slip in and out of a building, slip in and out everything. You're going to have to learn that. People stealing from you, copying you, stealing your ideas. These are things like businesses have to deal with, wealthy people have to deal with. It's almost like you're learning to be wealthy before you get wealthy, or you're learning the dark side of it anyway. People who are going to research your background to use it against you. You know, you learn to keep your nose clean, to do things properly, to do things the right way, to not skirt the law because you know that you have more to lose than to gain. Like it will come back to bite you. You're learning how to deal with people who have a determination to destroy you. Like they're determined. So it's a life skill. However many things that I have listed here, these are both hard and soft skills that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life. Look at the age that you are right now. You are probably fairly young or have a lot of years ahead of you. That means you have a lot of time ahead of you to still live a full life. 1 year into not being gang stalked, you're gonna forget half of this crap, and 3 years in, it's gonna be a distant memory. And in 10 years, it's just gonna be like something you tell your grandkids or whatever, depending on your age. Something you tell people that it's like, I used to go through this. But the difference between you and other people is like being a vet. The minute it were to happen again or something were to happen like that, you'd go right back into that place that you've created that's a safe place for you where you can survive anything. You can get through anything. Now, I'm in a place where I've cleaned off a lot of the toxic feelings, the heavy feelings, the spell work, a lot of the crap that comes with it, the anxiety, so I don't relate to that feeling anymore. In order for me to do a lot of my content, I have to mentally go back to that place or listen to other TIs, what they're going through, and then it jogs my memory and I'm like, oh man, I remember that feeling. But I will tell you, regardless of what, for the ones who are lucky, for those of us who get lucky, and you get an opportunity to hold these people accountable for what they did, do not sympathize, do not talk to them. That is not your job. You hold them accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Your primary objective is that people like this should not be on the streets. It's not money first, it's not settlements, and it's not hush money, it's not quieting you down, and it's not taking agreements. People like this shouldn't exist, because as you take them down, remember, our top priority here is to prove that gang stalking exists, because they keep saying that it doesn't exist. They keep gaslighting and saying that gang stalking doesn't exist, and that's our top priority, to prove that gang stalking exists. So I want you, when you get the opportunity to prove that gang stalking exists, make it a precedent for the rest of us that we can finally go in and make police reports that are taken seriously, because somewhere in the world, somebody proved in court that gang stalking exists. And you may walk away with no money, but you just gotta trust that God has you. Because I'm telling you, in my situation, if I get the opportunity to put them in jail, I don't care how much money I have to forfeit. I don't care. With what I've been through, it wouldn't sit right with me to get money. And I don't think they would pay it out anyway. I think they would get their plea deals and they would walk away. And I feel like if I did get money, they'd gang stalk the money out of my hand anyway. You need them behind bars. But from what I've been through, I couldn't even imagine these people still existing and walking around like they got away scotch-free. So that is my message. Thank you to the people in the chat. If you haven't yet liked the live, please like the live for me. It keeps the channel going. It lets people know the information that we're talking about. Like the live, share it, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the videos that I have posted. My videos are very specific. I look at what I've gone through and how I can contribute to other people, and that's what this channel is about. This is a very inclusive channel. This is a loving channel, and I just want to thank you guys for being here and investing your time into hearing what I have to say. Have a good night, and remember, God loves you. Good night.